What else should be done to boost the country's internet connectivity? Let's hear now from an independent ICT policy researcher, Grace Mirandilla Santos, Better Broadband Alliance convener, and she joins us now live on The Final Word. Thank you so much for joining us, Grace. First of all, are existing laws hampering the country from enjoying new technologies that will improve our internet connection?
Yes, that is very accurate, Rico. Actually, what we have now are landline-based analog era policy. These are your policies and laws that were enacted at the time when it was still rotary dial landlines, no? And I'm sure a lot of our millennials don't remember those anymore or don't even use them. But throughout the years, as technological advancements have happened and we have already shifted to mobile broadband and fixed wireless, these laws still remain. These are 1930s laws that we still use up to now. So definitely, yes, it is hampering the development in ICT, and we should really change them so that we can bring the country to the digital age.
And of course, we heard President Rodrigo Duterte complaining during the State of the Nation address about our internet connectivity. And of course, a lot of Filipinos have also complained together with the lawmakers. So why don't they amend this existing law to upgrade our internet connection?
There are actually several efforts right now with bills pending in Congress, like the Open Access in Data Transmission Bill that's referred to the Science and Tech Committee of the Senate, as well as the ICT Committee in the House of Representatives. And there's also what's called the Better Internet Act. Well, it's a proposed bill right now, which is with the Public Services Committee. So there are efforts, however...
Yeah, there are efforts, Grace, no? And there's so many bills. Why wasn't this done years ago, considering the boom of information and communication technology?
There are several things at play. No? One is the main barrier to entry is actually the congressional franchise. If you could believe this, we are the only country in the world that still requires a network operator to secure a franchise or a law from Congress for it to be able to build a network. So I am guessing that that is a huge problem, and it is up to Congress to change that law. So just do the math.
And among the other issues also being faced, Grace, by telecommunications companies and expanding their infrastructure is the long process of putting up cell towers.
That is one problem, I would say, but there are other factors at play. If we were to believe that, then we should be expecting that, for example, the telcos right now would be giving us a long list of these LGUs that have not approved their licenses or their permits. But according to the ARTA recently, which recently announced that there are actually just a few, maybe 1,500 permits that are pending, and most of them have been approved. So, looking at the broader scheme of things, it seems that LGU permits is not the sole problem. We should also look at whether we have enough players in the market and whether they have the incentive to actually promote or expand their coverage and also improve services.
So are there incentives for these telecommunications companies to improve existing technologies?
The biggest incentive would be their business interest. And if there are only two players in the market, we cannot expect there to be, jumping on their whatever competition issues that are out there. We cannot expect just two players to, to have the competition that is necessary for a market of 110 million people.
So already have a third, which is Dito, telecommunity. There seems to be one also applying for a fourth. How many should there be? So at least we could have more competition in this space.
We at the Better Broadband Alliance believe that it should not be just a third, fourth telco. It should be a number of service providers. And we'd like to emphasize that internet is not synonymous to telco providers. In other countries, there are several other service providers, cable broadband operators, even the electric cooperatives offer broadband. Municipal governments can offer broadband. So we need a diversity of service providers because If you only have two and you are only using telecom networks, then you are very limited, no, with your choices, especially given that we're an archipelago and we're dealing with, different terrains, different income levels. So we really need to have that diversity in place. And the bills that are pending in Congress right now are supposed to address that by removing the barrier to entry and also allowing non-telco service providers to offer internet.
So do you think that this should be the priority of Congress before it ends its term in 2022? So at least we will have more advanced internet connectivity by the end of President Duterte's term.
Yes, we believe so. It is long overdue. We are still using antiquated laws for the digital age. And the only way to do that is to update these laws. We need to have a digital connectivity law. It can be the Open Access Bill. It can be the Better Internet Act. Whichever it is, we definitely need this to happen now.
The bottom line, every Filipino deserves faster internet connection from their service providers. Thank you so much for your insights, Grace Mirandila Santos from Better Broadband Alliance.